Good morning and welcome to another lovely edition of the newspaper review here on Quest today, on Quest Television, and yes, on Quest Television only this morning. Yes, we use the newsroom, or rather the studios, the radio is having their own session of the newspaper review. And so today it's just be you and I, dear viewers here, on Quest today. Again, we're making a return to the papers, or rather the studios this morning. We have 5 newspapers. We have The Guardian, we have The Nation newspaper, The Punch made a return, as well as The Vanguard newspaper, and of course, The Daily Trust. And yes, my name is still Orikemi Mariam, and still with me this morning in the studios is Comrade Efe Odomo, our unordained bishop. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Yeah, just like as you remain Orikemi Mariam, also remain the unordained bishop.
The unordained bishop. Hopefully things will change this year.
Hallelujah.
But with that being said, comrade, we have 5 papers for review this morning. How about we look about 2 of them first of all, and then we go on to others later. The first paper for review is The Guardian. On the front page of The Guardian newspaper this morning, the major headline reads, single-use plastic ban in Lagos. It says businesses shop for alternatives and advocate incentivized recycling. Yes, more on this you can get on page 6, but just below that you can see a chart explaining more details on all of this. We've seen the huge amount of collection, and in the past couple of years, collection of plastic is what we're talking about right now. But yes, you can get more details on that on page 6 of The Guardian newspaper. Moving away from that, we have 2,423 people killed and 1,872 people kidnapped in 8 months under Tinubu. Yes, this is another headline.
These are the reported cases.
Yeah, these are reported cases, but you can get more details on this on page 6. I'm sure Comrade wants to comment more on this later on. Yes, on the moving on to international scenes though. International scenes says Nigeria and Ghana lead West Africa's identity fraud cases. Wow, quite I don't even know how to put that right now. But yes, that is not a good image for us. But you can get more details on that on page 3 of The Guardian. From Ogun, he says, from rising industrial hub to den of cultists and criminals. That's another headline on the front page of The Guardian this morning. You can get more details on that on page 4. EFCC arraigns impeached Ogun speaker over alleged 2.5 billion naira fraud. Yes, it seems as though EFCC is doing, they're on their toes these days. They're on their toes.
They don't end anywhere.
Well, we'll discuss more on that later, but you can read more on that on page 7 of The Guardian. And also, money supply grows by 50% in 12 months and compounds inflation. It's another headline on the front page of The Guardian. And yes, that's the much we can take on the front page of The Guardian for the sake of time. And the next paper for review will be The Daily Trust. On the front page of The Daily Trust newspaper this morning, the major headline reads, ECOWAS crisis, Nigeria at receiving end. We have a couple of writers to that. Say citizens will require visas to travel across exiting countries, and terrorists might up their game, says security experts. Also, we have we would be poorer, says Dons. You can get more details on this on page 4 of The Daily Trust newspaper. Moving away from that, above the leading story, we have Naira plunges to 1,500 Naira per dollar at the parallel market. Yes, more details on that on page 23. Also, UK suspends British-Nigerian minister for calling Israel's action genocide. Yes, more details on that on page 6. And also, Supreme Court, it says, Kano governor denies striking deal with Tinubu. Comrade, I hope you have more details on this, because this seems to be some sort of hot tea this morning that we want to know more about.
Very.
Yes, more details on this on page 33 of The Daily Trust. Union Polaris Keystone Bank's investors contest takeover, say CBN's action in breach of own rules, petitions President Tinubu, and also Apex Bank's silence on accusations. Yes, you can get more details on this on page 3. And well, for the picture of the day, we can see the picture of a Palestinian boy as he carries a bag of flour distributed by the United Nations Relief and Work Agencies, which has had its funding paused over allegations of staff involvement in the October 7 Hamas attacks on Israel. Yes, you can, if you're interested more in the story and the international scene, you can get more details on this on page 7 of The Daily Trust. And at this point, comrade, I did say let's look at two papers first of all.
Yes.
Yes. We'll look at the headlines here. Let's start with the first one, the major one on the front page of The Guardian. It's talking about the ban of single-use plastics in Lagos. And now, say businesses opt for, they shop for other alternatives. So at this point, are we in the good situation in the fact that right now it seems as though we are more aware, of environmental pollution and also how it affects the climate and all of this? And also, what will businesses do now? We're talking about shopping for alternatives, and we know that we've been using this single-use plastics for a very long time. What sort of alternatives would they be looking at this point?
Yes, thank you, Miriam. This thing is not just about environmental pollution and climate affection. It is also about our health status. The materials for producing these things affects the health on the long run. You look at it from the other angle. When you go to a party and they finish eating with this the name is very difficult for me to pronounce. You see? They throw them away. You see these scavengers, they go back to the waste bin to pick them again back to the companies. They recycle them and they put them back into use. All those things cause... Do
they really recycle them though?
Yes, they do. Some of them will be destroyed, like in the process of opening them, some of them can tear, so many things can happen to them. Okay. So they bring them back. It's just like what you do to canned drinks. You throw them away. Have you not seen trailer loads of condemned cans everywhere? They take back to the factory for recycling. And most of them, they don't even wash them. They just expand them back to the normal state, and they pour these drinks on them and people start buying. There was a day I bought a Coke, then it was bottled, then there was no can. Immediately they opened it, the thing erupted. I say, this thing is, the power is still there. I just put it in the mouth. I see I put it and it was still boiling. I say, this is power, I never finish it. After a second, and I now looked at it, that was boiling from the water. When I looked at it, a rusted cover is there. These are the things we are trying to avoid, not just the environmental pollution. But again, too, we should look at it from the environmental pollution angle. It is killing most of our aquarium food. Like the sharks, the whales, all these fish, they swallow them. I notice they don't decay. Yes. At a point in time, they start giving this problem and they die off. So there are so many negative angles to it. Not that they have banned it, which I'm in full support of the banning. When you say alternatives, definitely there must be alternatives. There is nowhere that there is vacuum. As we are talking, alternatives will have started flooding the market. It's not a problem at all.
But with the size of Lagos, let's just use Lagos as at this point, because this is happening now in Lagos.
Other states have joined.
Other states have joined, but do you even see, with the size and the number of people, the population in Lagos, do you even think the ban of this single-use plastic will actually,
take effect?
Yeah, take effect. Will it be effective? Will it
the law is the law. What I know is there can never be a direct changeover, that everybody will just stop it at the same time. No, but gradually it will. Maybe by the time they prosecute 1 or 2 persons over the violation, the other people will take a cue from it. But definitely it will come to pass. But there is nowhere in the world where you make a law and everybody bows to the law at the same time. It's not possible. It will take a gradual process, and these things will raise up. And those that refuse to follow, they are taking their own health for granted. So tomorrow they will not blame anybody that they were not alerted on time.
Okay. All right, let's move away from that, but still keeping it real here on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. It says, Nigeria and Ghana lead West Africa's identity fraud cases. This is alarming. This is quite embarrassing, if I were to say. It's not good for the image of the country. What's your take on this?
Miriam, when you say it is alarming, it is not good for the image of the country, what is the position of these two countries in the Committee of Nations? What is the position? There was a joke that if you go to the UK, if they are searching for missing phone, missing gadgets, they will say, who are you from Nigeria? Say, no. This one cannot do that. But when you talk of mega fraud, they will say, search this man. Whether you are at the point of sin or not, search this man. We've been living in a negative and a falsehood for a very, very long time. And our inability of addressing those things is what is giving rise to all this. The identity fraud has been happening not today, but it is on the increase. I use your face, you use my face, and even more also now that we even have all these apps that can change your image to a man, change a man to you.
Yeah, with the invention of AI.
Exactly. They remove your head and put this person's head, and things like that. So we are masters in all those type of things. And the only thing that surprises me is singling out Nigeria and Ghana.
Yes, singling out Nigeria and Ghana. That's what I'm really bothered about. So are we saying that we're taking the front seat? Are they saying we are taking the front seat when it comes to the issue of internet fraud?
Definitely, Nigeria is taking the front seat. And you cannot actually blame these people. The whole blame should come back to the system. The system is not doing anything at all. Look at the number of people that were kidnapped and even killed that you read out just now. In 8 months, which country can be happy? And now you are not doing anything about it. The government is not doing anything about it. They're even taking the fight now to the main capital city, which is Abuja. And the president is seated in Abuja. Everybody is seated in Abuja. Why do you think everybody will not want to do sharp practices that will give them money? That was leading to all this.
I am sure you are not involved in any sort of sharp practices to give you money.
No, definitely, because of you, I will never.
Okay, but with that being said, let's go on the short break. We'll be right back here on the newspaper review on Quest Today. Okay, welcome back to the newspaper review here on Quest Today on Quest Television. Yes, today we have 5 newspapers, and so far we have taken the Guardian and the Daily Trust, and right now we still have time for the Nation newspaper, the Vanguard, as well as the Punch. And yes, I still have my guest with me in the studios as Comrade Efe Odomo, the unordained bishop, enlightening us on the headlines making the rounds. So at this point, let's head straight into the Nation newspaper. And on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning, the major headline reads, "Security men raise bar in battle against kidnappers." Yes, it's the writer that says Air Force bombs terrorists, Army and police rescue scores from abductors, 2 traditional rulers killed in Ekiti, and policeman in Imo, and also mother and daughter murdered in the Federal Capital Territory. Quite a sad one there. Yes, this story seems to be making around on the social media space as well. But you can read more on this on page 4 if you've not caught up on this story. Read on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Moving above the masthead, we have sign attendance registered daily. Governor orders council chairman. Yes.
That can never work, man.
Why would you say that can never work? But you can read more on this on page 29. Though. Comrade, I'm sure you will react on this later on. Russia behind Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali ECOWAS quit threat is a statement coming from who? Well, you can get more details on that on page 3. Also, insecurity, state police call gets louder. More details on that on page 13. Moving away from that, we have CBN injects $500 million into forex markets. More details on that on page 5. And on the Ibadan blast, it says Makinde lashes Atiku. It says the writer that says I empathize with victims, says ex-VP, and Obi visits governor. But yes, below that we can see statements, back and forth. But we'll get more into this later on. More details on this on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. 3 feared dead, or rather 3 feared killed, as another communal clash erupts in Osun communities. It's making it to page 28 on the Nation newspaper, and that's much we can take on the front page of the Nation. The next paper for review is the Punch. On the Punch newspaper, the newspaper this morning, over 17,000 Nigerians abducted under Buhari and Tinubu, says a report. The writer that says Buhari 90%, Tinubu 10%. How abductors killed 2 Ekiti monarchs is coming from a source. But more details on this on page 2 and page 9 of the Punch. Naira falls to an all-time low of official market, sales at 1,348 naira per dollar. Yes, more details on that on page 26. And also, bribery, Lagos CP probes DPO. Yes, the point.
For 2 million naira.
For 2 million naira. Yes, more details on this on page 4 and 5. And also, lawmakers accuse Fubara of unlawful conduct, and governor wants pro-wiki appointees. Yes, more details on that on page 8. And well, for the picture of the day on the Punch newspaper, federal government and U.S. sign MOU to train police special squad commanders. Yes, you can read more details on that on page 7. And it's quite an interesting one, quite a good step in the right direction. But that's much we can take on the front page of The Punch. The final paper for review this morning will be the Vanguard. Yes, the Vanguard newspaper, the major headline reads, "Insecurity, kidnappers shoot at moving vehicle, man abducted and wife injured." Writer that says kidnap 3 victims praying at Kaimo Mountain in Abuja. FCT police and SIS rescue victims at Kuje Forest and Gwagwa Hills. And also we arrested 139 kidnappers, rescued 154 victims in 2 weeks, says IGP Egbetokun. Yes, more details on this on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Moving away from that, ECOWAS, we are ready to engage Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, says the federal government. The writer there says the exit will compromise trade and also delay return to civil rule. This is a statement from Akinyemi and others. More details on this on page 8. Moving above the masthead, we have $20 billion Dangote refinery to import crude from the United States. It's making it to page 70, and it begs the question, have we run out of crude here in Nigeria? But comrade, I'm sure you'll answer all of that later on. And also Makinde and Atiku at war over Ibadan explosion. Yes, this one seems to be making the rounds. And well, that's much we can take on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Do not forget that the newspaper review here on Quest is sponsored by the Vanguard newspaper, and to them we give them kudos and all of that. But let's move away from that and come back to Comrade. Juicy headlines. Yeah. Juicy headlines are making the rounds this morning.
They're not drinkable.
They're not drinkable, you know. But a couple of them might be. But let's start with the Makinde and Atiku war right now. Yes, it's making the rounds on the dailies. On the front page of the Nation newspaper, it says Makinde lashes at Atiku. You know, he says, he's not empathetic towards the victims of the explosions. And this is a statement. He says, "The president has called me. You have reached out to me, but my own party candidate, Atiku Abubakar, has not called or even sent a text message. There is time for humanity." Yes. And then there's a reply to that. It says he made a condolence message about the Ibadan explosion less than 24 hours of its occurrence. Perhaps the governor has been too busy to take track of media reports. Well, what's your take? What's your take on all of this?
No, definitely it shows that the man is not having the pulse of the people in his heart at all. Because if it's something of that magnitude, I call it a crime because it was not just an accident. Could happen in the state and destroy so much properties, multi-billion naira properties. Then you, that is supposed to be the direct boss of the person that is in charge, never showed any concern. Sending of text messages is not anything. You have to be there to see things for yourself and even condole with the governor. But you didn't do that. Well, the opposition party came, the opposition president came. What again? Then how do you think that a man will look at his own person? It's just like when you're having a sport, just like Nigeria went for the 17 World Cup one time. When they came back to Nigeria with the came second, actually, they came second. But the whole parents of everybody went there to receive them. Osondu, Philip Osondu, their parents were not dead. And the boy cried that with all I did, my parents are not there. One said, well, maybe because your father is no longer there. The man is gone. But what of my people that are supposed to have come? You know, when you are crying, when a child is crying, it's indirectly looking for the parents. And when they're not crying so much and the parents are not there, he feels orphan. That's what the man is just talking about. Because it's the first person that's supposed to have been there is Atiku. He's still planning of running in 2027. I don't know whether he will run until the day. But
the reports are that, okay, let's look at Atiku's side on it. It has been said that he did make, you know, he did put out a condolence message.
What the man is saying is the message is not enough to the magnitude of what happened. If your own company is on fire, you are sending a text message. Do you think it will have the same effect as if you go there to go and see things for yourself? The man is not quarreling with him that because he didn't send any message. No, guy, you're supposed to have come here to see things for yourself. You are even the #1 principal in that state because it is under his party, it's under the PDP. It's not the chairman that is the head of a party. You can be the chairman of a party, but the very moment you're having a function and the president comes in, you the chairman, you the governor of that state, you become second class to him. You must take orders from him. You cannot do everything on you. You're no longer independent.
Okay. Well, let's move away from that because we have a lot of topics this morning. It says sign attendance register daily. Yes, governor orders council chairman. This also made it to the news here on Quest. Quite an interesting one indeed. Come on, what's your take to this?
You know, there is a proverb in Yoruba land. If I use the Yoruba language to say it, now many people will not understand. what is in the forest that is making so much noise? If you want to kill us, kill us. If you don't want to kill us, leave us alone. You know it. You know that song? All these things are just the gira of...
this is about bringing about orderliness. You know,
who is going to keep that law? Who is going to monitor that law? Who is going to implement it? That is just the number one thing. I agreed for the first 1 month, 2 months, they will abide by that law. But after that, what happens? Are they going to be sending people from the capital cities to be monitoring the chairman, whether coming into the office or not? Now, let me ask you a question. You can count the number of chairmen in Nigeria that go to office. Most of them are in other states. Most of them are even in the outside countries. When it is time for allocation, that is the JAC. They call it JAC, Joint Account Allocation Committee. Joint Account Allocation Committee. That is when you see them coming around. Then after that, the salaries, allocation, everything is done. Most of them are out of the office again. So it's like you're not forcing them to come
let's
and
hope
sit in the
that
office.
as this has come in place, this would last, you know.
We're only hoping. We're only hoping.
Let's pray on that. Well, let's move away from that and go to the Punch. Yes, the headline there on the Punch newspaper is a puncher as usual. It's talking about a kidnapping epidemic. And at this point, we have a report. You know, someone has come out to speak on this. It says over 17,000 Nigerians abducted under Buhari and Tinubu's regime. Should I use the word regime?
Regime.
Regime says for Buhari, 90%. And for Tinubu so far, 10%. What's your take on this?
Kidnapping. One of the reasons why APC campaigned vigorously and tirelessly against Jonathan was the case of insecurity.
Yes, insecurity.
Yes. When they were to have the 2015 elections and the insecurity was so high, Jonathan brought in mercenaries, if you can remember, and they pushed these boys back into the forest, and the election took place. When the admission of Buhari came on board, the first thing he did was to send the mercenaries away, and that they were killing the northerners and they were pampering the Niger Delta Avengers. And since then, it has never looked back again. Insecurity has never looked back. It continues to be on the increase. And when people criticize him, when they called on the government of the day that, look, you are not doing enough. This is what you are supposed to have done. This is what you criticize the other person for. The immediate past governor of Kogi State, who just left office about 2 days ago, Yahaya Bello, came up to say, are you expecting Mr. President to go out with AK-47 to go and chase kidnappers? But they were expecting good luck and his administration to carry AK-47 to go and chase the kidnappers back into the forest and kill them. You see the problem we are having. Now you are there. A spectator is a better player. If you are, assuming you are a football fan. Once you are watching football, look at the way the guy kicked the ball. Is it senseless? Can't you see the other person? Can't you do this? But enter into that field, you will see that you will not even see the ball for the 90 minutes if you are put to play for 90 minutes. That's what is playing out now. The kidnapping rate we have in Nigeria today is even the highest. Yes, it's the highest in Africa, if I may say. The only country that come near us a bit is South Africa. But South Africa, when they don't do the kidnapping like that, they just come after some people, they shoot them dead, and that's all. That's their own crime there. Because every nation, every society has the type of crime that fits them. But that of Nigeria own is not a palatable situation at all. The rate of killing, like as I told you when you were reading out... So
you agree with this rate card right now?
No, I'm not even agreeing with the rate card because this is what is reported. There are so many people that are not even in the news. So how do you quantify them? But we can take it like that because that is what they told us.
Well, the IGP, Egbetokun, has come out to say so far they have arrested 139 kidnappers and they have even rescued 154 victims in just 2 weeks. So do you actually see, this is progress, yes? This is progress.
Where are you progressing to? Those people that have been arrested from the beginning, where are they? What happens to them? Who was prosecuted? Who was punished? Who was jailed? Who was sent for a maximum punishment among these people? Is it just to arrest them? Now you arrest some of these people, you push them back into society and say you want to re-radicalize them. That is, want to radicalize them and bring them back into society. Can there be a peace pact between a snake and a tortoise? Is it possible?
Comrade, is it not possible?
It's not possible to be a peace pact, for you to have a peace pact between a snake and a tortoise. Because when the snake begged the tortoise to carry it out of the water from drowning, and the man said, look, if I save you now, you will sting me. The man said, I will not. After much argument, okay, let me now help you. Carrying the snake to the shore, immediately dropping the snake on the floor. The very first thing the snake did was to sting and the tortoise shouted, but you promised not to do it. So what do you think I will do? What is my job if I don't sing? You want to pardon these people and reintegrate them into the society.
So are you saying that right now they're not doing enough when it comes to this?
If they are not doing enough, okay, look at the one you read out. A moving bus was shot at and you adopted all the passengers. This thing happens every day. Are you telling me that the military intelligence, as one of the best in Africa, cannot locate these people Are you telling me these people, they don't have a trace? Even if they don't have a trace, don't they have a source where they collect their money?
So what is now stopping, if you're saying we have all of this, what is stopping the security from being changed?
Political will and political purpose. We don't have it. Our own is to say it. Who implements it? Oh, Miriam, by tomorrow I'm going to make your salary 550,000 naira in a month. I've said it. Have I implemented it? Do I have the political will to implement it? Don't you know the type of money that is being made from this kidnapping something is the biggest money making industry before you don't start talking of mining of crude and other mineral resources. You kidnap somebody, look at that one that was asking for 100 million in how many days? Which type of business on earth will you do to make that type of money? What type of business? Now you are saying that you want to start arresting these people. They are elusive. Fine, they are elusive. Why did you tell us that we should go and link all our lines, all our bank accounts with our phone numbers, NIN, and what's the other one?
BVN and Co.
BVN and Co. Is it not because of to be able to trace any criminal activity? Why are those things being docile? Why are they not being used? Why are they not being used? And still somebody will tell us that we are trying our best. Which best are you trying? These people, when they kidnap, they have a phone they used to make calls. Why can't you track that line if you're actually serious about what to do and you want to eliminate this crime? Why do you think that the government is not doing anything about it? Okay,
let's move away from it. But still sticking around it. Yes, on the front page of the Punch, it says the federal government and the US have signed an MOU to train police special squad commanders. You see, that's actually coming to life right now. It's been fruitful. What's your take on this?
If they do, I will say yes. But when they come back, will the Nigerian system not enter into these people back? Everybody that Nigeria has brought from overseas to come and run this government, when they come here, they become the system itself, and every other thing will not work again. Are we not going to have the same experience with this? Look at someone like Okonjo-Iweala. They rubbished her when she came. Look at Kemi Adeosun. They rubbished her when she came. Several of these people, if we start mentioning names, we will not leave this studio. It is not actually this that is the fault. It is the system. We need to change the system. Look, when in 1983, that was December 31st, 83, when Buhari Diabon came on board. If you remember, I don't know whether you were born then. When they came on board, crime reduced because the president, or what do I call it now? Is it the presidency or the head of state C, or what do they call it? Because it was a military regime.
Because the military regime.
They called the IG. I don't want crime in this our entity. That is Nigeria. The IG called the IG. The IG called the DIG. The DIG called the. Just like that, up to DPO. Then you will see DPO going to the office 12 o'clock in the night. When there is anything, there is a civil unrest. You see them in the office. Everybody was on their toes. They brought the issue of why. Everybody was on their toes. You cannot urinate along the road. After urinating, you are looking at whether somebody is after you. Discipline was everywhere. But nobody liked this. They said the man was too harsh. The man was too harsh. Oh, the man should go. The man left. What are we today? Where are we today? And what have we achieved ever since then? So,
comrade, you've been talking about the system. How do we change the system now?
Is to disabuse our mind. Look, we have devalued everything in the country, but we have not devalued our moral conscience. That is number one principle we should be talking about. We've not devalued our moral conscience. Like I was talking one day, we have three principal types of corruption, but we're only talking about money corruption. What of our own conscience that is corrupt? Have we been able to disvalue our conscience and come back to reality of things? Why do you think that you and I will be in an office? Only me seated here will be thinking of stealing over 500 billion naira while you are there trekking to your house. And you think the system will work? And when they even see me and I was caught and I was taken to the court, somebody will come and argue and bail me with less than 100 million for a fraud of that magnitude. Then you will not come back and say, oh, I'm going to sue the government, I'm going to sue the police for illegal arrest. And the man will go to court and he will get justice. And you think the system will continue to run until we solidify our judicial system, until we make our judicial system to be fully independent, not this multi-independence we are talking about. These things will continue to sink deeper. Look at your CBN governor, because it's no longer a secret, because it's in the public domain. What did the man do? He even went to the court and he got justice for that level of accusation that was leveled against him. He still got justice. So tell me, if I am the CBN governor tomorrow, Miriam, what do you think I would do? I think you would use the Spirit of God and love in your heart to do the right things. Well, yeah, so let's move away from that. Let's still stick on the Vanguard newspaper. $20 billion Dangote refinery to import crude from the United States. Now, I asked the question, have we run out of crude here in Nigeria? You know, in This is called API, American Price Index. They have rated Nigeria's crude as one of the best crude so far.
Okay, so why are we having to import?
So for them to go back to
the
US, so maybe they want the coloration of my crude is from the US. You know, we like names in this part of the world. Even when you wear a shoe, you want to tell your neighbor that, oh, come on, this my shoe is from the US. This my shoe is from UK. Just want to show up. Because I don't think they... That hanging the argument on.
What is the reason for... I mean...
What are they hanging?
The story is not adding up.
Now, it's going to have a serious pull on your naira.
Yes.
And that is going to lead to further inflation. It is going to increase the price of the byproducts, that is the petrol, the PMS, the AGO and co, when they are fully produced. So, like the question you asked, why do we go importing? Is it because they can no longer get crude from the Nigerian
soil?
Yeah, from the Nigerian soil. Is it because of the unrest that we have? You know, most things are begging for answers. And we have a regulatory body that's supposed to be regulating all these things. But because everybody wants a little for himself, nobody wants to say anything. Is it cheaper to import crude when Nigeria even exports crude to other countries to refine? Then you now import crude from the other side. Are you now making Nigeria a round-tripping a country? You give to me, I process it, I give to you, you bring it back to me, and we're making it a secular movement? Something must be wrong somewhere. We are not thinking well at all. We don't have those who can see tomorrow. Look, in the London School of Accountancy, those who write the books live in the forest. They finish writing the books, they bring them to the classroom. The man who is going to lecture it will divulge it and come to the classroom and lecture. That is why they exist tomorrow. Why can't we imbibe that type of attitude? Why don't we go into the forest? Why don't we do backward integration and make sure we move the country forward? A tea company in Nigeria has a Mambila Plateau tea estate. What they do there is growing tea. They take them back, they process them, you and I will drink out of it. If they had been importing, that company will not grow till date.
Oh, we're moving away from that. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, a headline there reads, Naira plunges to 1,500 Naira per dollar at the power market. Comrade, you are in the best position. You are the best.
You are not giving me
You're the best person right now to explain why we have this Naira to dollar to Naira at 1,500 Naira, you know, to a dollar. What is going on? And, you know, at some point you did say yes, it was going to rise above, it was going to rise to 1,000 Naira per dollar. But comrade, we are seeing 1,500. What does this mean for Nigerians at this point? And also, do you see the dollar actually, do you see this actually going all the way to 2,000 Naira? Are you predicting 2,000 Naira per dollar at this point?
Now, answer this question I want to ask you now. Can you use fire to drive frog out of the sea? I'm asking you. Can you set fire in the bush or around the bush to catch a bird? Can you expect your economy to grow when everything you do is being dollarized? Do you expect your economy to grow, your local currency to grow when everything you do is by importation? You don't have any export, you don't have any base, and you want your currency to grow? How possible? You depend on somebody to feed you, and you want to dictate to the person how he feeds you. Now, every ocean-going liner that has been bringing products to Nigeria, goods and other services, most of them have been going back with ocean waters to balance the vessel, because there is nothing we export. Everything we do here, we import. Even the toothpick you do, even the Bible you are holding, you import. It was about 3 years ago, during the administration of Muhammadu Buhari, when the Senate Committee on Establishment came on board and said, I have been able to establish a machine that will produce kilichi. Tell me, who eats kilichi? Tell me, who exports kilichi? That is what we are boasting about. Economy is going down. You are doing everything possible not to go into production. You have killed your agricultural sector. You are killing your mining sector. In the sense that kidnappers will not allow you. Some of them have been mined for themselves. Look at the gold they are mining in Kaduna that is causing this explosion and every other thing there. Who is responsible? Who are the beneficiaries of those mining? And you are saying the economy is good, the naira is good. The naira will continue to go down until we sit tight, revisit our agriculture. Do not treat the farmers as second-class citizens or even third-class citizens. Treat them as first-class citizens. My cousin was telling me in the UK, if you kill one farmer, they wipe off your family because you have eliminated the complete source of.
Oh no, comrade, that's too much right now.
No, I'm talking of UK, not here. You see, so until we have to broaden our financial source, the naira will continue to plunge. Apart from the oil, tell me which other thing do you sell to international communities that will give you money? Which other thing? The food you eat, we buy. Everything. Even people now start I have a friend who does a business by exporting the fish gill. You know, gill.
Yes.
Exporting fish gill. I have it. They are there. Then common. In fact, there are too many. A man built a house in Lagos. They call it the cocaine extension in Festac. If you've been to Festac, you will know it. Cocaine extension. He was boasting that even the sands he used in building that house was imported. Is that not madness of the highest order? Who cleared those things at the port? Who cleared them?
All right, comrade. I think we still have time to take one more story from the newspaper, and let's talk about the one that actually made you laugh. You know, it says talking about bribery. Lagos CP probes DPO. We know the amount is about. We're talking about 2 million naira now. What's going on? What is going on? Because I did see your reaction. Like I said, you laughed when I read this headline. What's the story of this whole thing? And just give us this whole story, comrade. Because we need to know more on this and know where this is heading to. Are we going to be seeing them in court? What is going to happen, comrade?
Every dog they eat shit, so they don't wish it rub him out. And then they say they eat shit too. Abi? If that one, 2 million naira, it's because the camera caught him. How many have been happening like that? How many? This one is just like a small screen. Let people see that we are doing something. You cannot. I told somebody one day, if you are talking of corruption in the police, what do you talk about the customs? The bribe police collects in a month. It's not up to what the custom collects in a day. But who brings the searchlight on that area? You cannot hold only the police responsible. Everybody in the system is corrupt. So if you want to make that man a scapegoat, fine. What of those that was saying that transfer 10,000 to my account? No, not get time. It was in the air. And they say they are tracing them to arrest them. Look, let us be factual. There are some stations, if you don't give returns back to the office, they will not post you out again. Or when they post you, they will not post you to a lucrative area. Are you not aware of that incident? So they should just allow the sleeping dog, like, unless of course they want all the heads. Let me know. According to what you said, 95% or 90% of the heads to roll. If they don't want 90% of the head to roll, they should just do it secretly and over. If you want to return that money, tell him to return the money. Otherwise, everybody's involved though. That man is just a scapegoat, as I will call him.
All right, comrade, thank you very much for enlightening us on all of the headlines that made the rounds this morning on the newspaper review. We have 5 papers this morning. We have The Guardian, The Nation, The Punch newspaper, The Daily Trust, as well as The Vanguard. But yes, we've exhausted the time for the newspaper review here on Quest today. Coming up next is the big story. But I dare not log out without thanking Comrade. Comrade, thank you very much.
But I'm not part of the 2 million. Or don't do me with that eyes.
Comrade, are you not aware? It is what it is. Thank you very much for coming on today. I do look forward to having you tomorrow as usual.
Yeah, but Jesus tarries.
All right, people. Thank you, dear viewers, for skipping it real here on the newspaper review. But like I said, the big story is coming up next, and that will be spearheaded by Michael Gobadia. From myself, my crew, and Comrade Ifeodomo, we say have yourself a lovely Tuesday, and bye for now.